Dell, Microsoft, these are all big companies that started in little basements and now we're at a construction site. Is this symbolic of the fact that this is a team that's under construction and is going to look great when it's all finished?
Talking about the team, Danish, I think so I'd let Mike Essen answer that question.
Mike, how about you take this construction question?
Well, look, I think every time you have a big auction, you do need to rebuild. And I think one of the things we noticed is that because the last 2 years we've performed nicely on the field, a lot of our players are very much in high demand. So even though, there are a lot of players who perhaps we would have loved to have had back at RCB, unfortunately they got a bit out of our price range. So, and good on them. We wish them well in terms of what they contributed to RCB. And as long as they do well this year, but not against us, that'll be just fine.
Faf, there's a test match going on like literally next door and there are more people here. Do you realize the franchise you've signed up for?
I do see that now.
How much pressure is it, Faf?
No, I mean, the most exciting thing was, obviously we haven't played a lot of cricket the last few years in front of fans, but just walking out of the lift now and seeing maybe 20 fans, but the noise that was coming from those 20 fans was electric. And that's exciting. That's great. Obviously, I know RCB, the team, very well from all my time here in IPL. As you know, I've been very close with AB and Virat for a while, so I know a lot more than you would think. And I'm really excited. I'm really excited to get started.
Mike, we had ABD before this. Now we have FDP. Was this a strategic decision to make the audience in the crowd chant easier?
It wasn't part of the strategy, no. But yeah, it seems to make sense. Appreciate that.
Hi, Faf. Congratulations. So, like you said, ABD is not here, replacing a legend like him would not be easy for any franchise. So do you think that that area is well covered? And because you have a really solid top three, you, Virat and Maxwell, if he bats at 3, then that makes the number 4 position vacant. Do you think, or you are trying a particular player you have in mind who can fill up that shoes?
Yeah, your first part of your question, myself and AB always spoke about, he mentioned throughout his career that it would be nice if I could join him here at RCB. So the timing is obviously not great now that AB has decided to retire, and also retired 3 years ago from international cricket. So unfortunately we won't be playing together, but it's nice that I suppose there is a bit of, poetic. It's nice that one friend replaces another one, and there's something nice to that story. And AB has huge shoes to fill. There's no cricketer in the world that would even try and fill AB's shoes. Those shoes are too big. I've got big feet, but they're never going to match AB's feet. And as I said, I won't even try. He's an absolute great of the game. In terms of selection, I just got here today, and really was looking forward to this, and I'm sure myself and S will sit over the next couple of days and start talking the real important stuff, which is cricket.
Sorry? Mike was at the drawing board when you were strategizing for the auction, so you must have had a player in mind who could bat at number 4 going forward.
Well, Maxwell batted at number 4 last year, so I don't see that there'll be any change to that without giving too many strategies away. So, I think we've sort of got that in terms of the middle order, and we've got DK, who's obviously a nice power player and an experienced finisher as well, likely to bat in that finishing role. But as Faf said, we're not looking to replace AB with one player. That's an unrealistic expectation. But within the squad and within our batting group, we've filled a lot of those holes. So, but yeah, there will never be another ABD. And if there is, I'd love to find him and love to watch him play.
I just have one question for Dinesh. You've been with RCB before, you come back here. What's the one thing that excites you the most, Dinesh?
For a start, the jersey design, I thought it's very interesting design this time. I was very impressed by it. But look, I'm really looking forward to this, in many ways coming back to this team. I thought the last time that I was there, we, almost crossed the line. We obviously lost in the game to CSK, which was pretty close. Faf didn't really do us any favors that game, but we still managed. I mean, they still managed to just cross the line. So if we can go one better, that'll be really good for us. But I'm really excited. It's good to see the videos, good to see the energy here, and thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to playing for RCB this year.
We're lucky to have you, and congrats, Faf, once again. Just one question for you. As an individual, for someone who's been associated with one franchise for a long time, how easy or difficult is it for you to come out of that and then immerse yourself in a completely different setup?
Yeah, that's probably been the biggest question around. Look, any player or any person that spends a lot of time with a team or a franchise or a family or a relationship, it becomes a special relationship. So to do 10 years there, obviously that was a great part of my life. 10 years is a long time. But now it's a new opportunity for me. So it's this new door that's opened for me that really excites me. It's something that gives me real purpose. I've always been a cricketer that lives for purpose. I find that when I feel most alive playing is when I feel purpose. And that's, when I decided to hang up the boots from an international captaincy point of view, was when I felt that there was no more purpose in that. So with this, yes, one door is closed, but this nice big door is opened with a real nice purpose for me to play for the next however long years. I still feel really good physically. As I said, I need to make sure that I compete with Dika and making sure that we put on those size small shirt when we go out there.
Thanks, Faf. Congrats and all the best.
Yeah, good evening all. Congratulations Faf du Plessis for new captain.
Sorry, you asked me?
Yeah. Faf, I have one question. What are the plans you have for opening, middle order and death bowling attack?
Sure. You want anything else?
Middle order, all-rounders and
Sure.
death bowling attack. What are the plans we can expect from this IPL?
No, death bowling for me is always just clarity. We've got some fantastic bowlers this year with RCB, international quality bowlers that's done really well. So my only job there would be to make sure that there's clarity. They've got the skills already to do exactly what is needed to bowl teams out in this IPL. And regarding the batting order, as I said, we haven't really discussed too many tactical things, but there's a few spots there that you can see almost picks himself. Dika is the experience in the middle is one of the most key areas in any T20 game, is how you finish games, and Dika has been doing that for years, so he's a fantastic addition to that middle order. Maxwell has got that power, that's really important in any T20 side. And then you need guys in the top three that can score 85 or 100 runs in an innings, and we've got those as well. So we've got the players, now it's just about putting it together and make sure we're maximizing what we have. Is that everything? Yeah.
Hello. Mike, I have a small question for you. I know that Faf will force his way into the first 11, all 14 games or all 17 games. But was it a difficult decision to make a foreigner a captain for the IPL team, because you can only accommodate 4 foreign players?
I think that when you look to decide who's the most suitable candidate for the role, you don't necessarily decide whether they're an Indian player or an overseas player. Sure, there's 7 Indians and there's 4 overseas. We know the maths, but the reality is that Faf is good enough to play every single game anyway. So that's not a question. So therefore, you just look at who's the guy who's going to work with the leaders in the group, get the best out of the younger guys, build relationships, help develop that culture, that RCB culture that we want. As I said, that inclusive style, who is the person to do that? Who is tactically really sound under pressure? Who is a calm influence? As I said, who can work with a number of guys who have huge experience and actually draw that experience out of them. So those are the questions that we ask, rather than being a foreigner or a local player. We just want the best candidate for the job, and there's no doubt in our mind that Faf is the guy for that.
So that's all for today, I guess. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here. It's really a pleasure to host you. We'll see you next on the Zoom as we enter the bubble and get ready for IPL. Thank you all. Thank you so much for your time.